Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is the Earth Witch and today I'm doing a garden tour. This is for late spring, technically early summer because it is 92 degrees out here today. I'm already sweating. I already did the tour, but I came back to say hello. It's nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. I have been busy growing a human being, creating new life. I'm 22 weeks pregnant now. Just so exciting. I love being pregnant. I can't wait to have a cute little squishy soft baby again. And I've been gardening a lot, so I'm excited to show you what me and my family have done so far and how it's going to progress through the season. The reason I haven't been on my channel in a couple of months is because late winter, early spring is the time to get outside and get planting. So that has taken priority because I grow a lot of medicine, I grow a lot of food and pretty things. So I hope you can get some joy from my video. I garden here in Hampton Roads area, Norfolk, Virginia, and that is zone 8A. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm about to go inside and cool down because it is hot out here. It is early morning. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So we'll start at the front and work our way back. This is the front of my house, the front garden bed. So on this side, I have a Gara plant, which isn't blooming so much yet. It's got like a couple of blooms on it. I don't know if it's getting enough sun here, but it's really, really big. I might just have to relocate it. We have this climbing rose. Those are the only blooms left. I've deadheaded recently so that it can flush out again. This rose is probably older than I am. You can see how big it is. It was a neighbor's rose that lived here before, and then somebody gave it to him. And so it's here. It's usually big and beautiful, but I cut it back this year to rejuvenate it. It is officially gardenia season. This is one gardenia bush. It really needs to be pruned. When you prune a gardenia, make sure you prune it after it blooms. But let's see one of these big, beautiful flowers. I love how thick the flowers are and how bright white it is as well. And it reaches all the way back into the bed where there's even more flower buds that haven't even opened yet. And there's more of that rose back behind it too that goes over this way and all the way across. So this is a purple Trindanscantia. It was here before. I tried to dig it out. It keeps coming back, so I'm just gonna let it live and do what it wants. This is a Cheyenne Sky Echinacea. And here is a clematis I just bought. I don't remember the name, but I think it's done flowering for now. But I'll try to put up a picture of the flowers. When it was flowering early spring. And then last in the front, I recently added this orange rocket barberry here, just to switch it up from being so green. As you can see, it's a little pop of red. I think it's really pretty. So that's the front garden bed. Let's go into my yard, which you can see, this is what my yard looks like from the road. There's my doggo Sally. From this side of the street, here at the beginning of my little side yard here, I have a Leyland cypress. It's starting to put off new growth, as you can see at the top. But it's like a soft conifer, which is why I got it. I don't like the ones that are stabby. And I just think it's so pretty. Let me set this aside so you can see it in the sun. It's like bluish green with the new growth is like light green, and there's like some yellow in it on the stems, and it's just beautiful. So I love that one so much. I'm debating what to put in this spot here. I'm thinking I might put like a rose of some sort here, but I'm not sure what kind yet. I'm gonna wait on that. Here is a quick fire hydrangea. This is the small version of it that's only supposed to get like 3 to 5 feet. It's barely blooming. It's barely began to bloom compared to my other one, which I'll show you. So this one probably just gets less sun. Here is a camellia. This is the Ashley Black camellia. It is stunning. I'll try to put a picture in of what it looked like when it was blooming. During late winter, early spring. It's a Camellia japonica. I love these glossy leaves, and it's an evergreen, so it'll be there all year. I just put this one in the other week, like a week ago. It is a Delaware Valley azalea. As you can see on the tag, it's going to be white. I am obsessed with white blooms. They just really pop in the landscape, and this is supposed to get 5 feet high by 5 feet wide, which is why it has so much room to grow there between the camellia and this little rose. This rose I recently got and put into the landscape. Just deadheaded it yesterday, and as you can see, it is like a really dark pink burgundy color, and it gets lighter in the center, then it turns to white. This is called Burgundy Iceberg. It is a red floribunda rose. It's got some other buds on it. It has new growth that is coming up from where I deadheaded it, with some little buds coming up too, so it's definitely going to flush out again and be beautiful like it was when I first bought it. I just think it's so pretty. And this is my normal size firelight hydrangea. As you can see, it has a lot more blooms on it than the small one over there, because this one gets a lot more sun. Blooms come out white. This bush can get 8 feet tall by 8 feet wide, so it has a lot of room to grow over here. The blooms come out like a green chartreuse color, like that, and then they turn white. And then as they age, it'll age into pink and then deep red until winter. And then it'll die back in winter. But the blooms still hang on, so it gives some winter structure as well if you don't cut them off. So that's got a lot of room to grow between that rose bush there and my garden box. Now this is my herb box. It has a lot of the herbs in. This was the first thing I put into my garden when I started it 3 to 4 years ago now. So not everything in here has been in there that long. The thyme has, which this is lemon thyme, and this is lemon thyme. It looks so shady because I took a chunk out of it to put into a pot, because I didn't want to buy a new one since I have so much. And then lavender, the only lavender that I have ever kept alive is here. Oregano has gotten big and it is flowering. I've never seen oregano flower, so I let it flower this year. It's really pretty little pink flowers. The thyme is also at the end of its flowering. It was completely covered in these little purple blooms at one point. And then here is a daylily in the center to add some color besides purple and green. And those flowers just opened yesterday, matter of fact. And there are a bunch remaining to open. And here's my rosemary. I cut it back. Oh, excuse the lift kit here. Still not in the shed. I cut it back at the beginning of spring, and it's starting to flush back out, all the new growth on the tips and whatnot. And here, I'm getting closer to the other portion of the garden. So we'll start here and work our way around the back, and then come back around, like in a circle, I guess. Here is the black lace elderberry with my dog's toys, like the only one she hasn't destroyed, so I'm surprised it survived this long, to be honest. Black lace elderberry, it was blooming. I only had one bloom this year because it went in last fall, so I'm not surprised, but the foliage is worth it alone. This elderberry does produce berries by itself, but it produces better with a plant that I can be cross-pollinated with, which I just got last week, and it is flowering, so we'll eventually get around to that one. And then you can see the flowers. Even though it's not a traditional elderberry, the berries can still be used for medicinal reasons. Excuse me. Can still be used for medicinal reasons. So this bed here in the front and halfway around is still pretty new. There's a couple of things that have been in here for a little while, but still pretty new. So that's why everything's growing strangely or slowly. This is a Russian sage. As you can see, it has one stalk on it. I cut the rest of it back, and that was the only one that grew. And I'm trying not to stand in the way of the light, but it's so pretty. I can't wait for it to get like established in this spot and really take off. All the rocks you see here, including this little rock path going through the center of the garden, came from my mom's house. Thank you, Mom. She lives in the mountains and there are a lot of rocks. There is another gardenia. I think this is like the double chip gardenia or something. It's a smaller variety. As you see, the flowers are a little bit smaller. Let me see if I can get a good flower. There's one there. That isn't brown. I need to deadhead it. I have a couple of hostas in here. Now I know when everything grows up, this hosta right here, sorry, I sneezed and now my nose is running. This hosta right here is going to be like shaded out quite a bit, but like you might not be able to see it past this tutti frutti yarrow here, which is stunning, by the way. The flowers come out bright red and then they fade to a pink and then sort of to like an orangey color and then even more to like this creamy color back here. It'll probably get shaded out, but I can see it from my porch, which is what I really wanted. I wanted things I can see from all angles. This hosta here is about to flower, just so exciting. These are halcyon, I think that's how you say it, hostas. I put in some ground cover here. Nothing usually grows here at all, so that's why I put in some burgundy glow ajuga, and of course, disturbing the soil, pulled up some grass seed. Like, I have never seen anything grow here ever. And now there's grass seed, but there's burgundy glow ajuga, and then I have creeping thyme in 3 different spots as well. I'm hoping this one will creep out, or the ajuga creep out to just fill in the gaps and spaces. So here's another rose. It's so tiny because it was a bare root rose I planted this early spring. Those are some flowers that are on their way out. But then we have more buds on this side popping in. Here's where I put that thyme in this pot here. Oh, there's a little wasp. So don't sting me. And then in the back here, and also here's the same plant. It is a blue star, white star Lithidora plant. I got those on sale at Lowe's for like, I think it was like $7 each. There's a piece of plastic. Not supposed to be in there. So this went in last year. This is a false gold cypress. I think it is stunning. It really brings in some color besides like the green, since it's really like a golden foliage plant. here's another burgundy glow ajuga in a pot. It is hot out here. It's supposed to be 90 degrees today. Yet it's still spring. Here is a wormwood. It is like a fluffy type of wormwood. It is so soft. Like, I am obsessed with this plant. I just put this in this early spring, and it has gotten like 3 times the size as it was when I put it in here. I have a little fig tree in a grow bag. I think it's a 15-gallon grow bag or something. And it's a brown turkey fig, so I can't wait. I've never tried figs before, but I hear they're really good. So, and you can use them in things. And I hear they taste like honey. So I'm excited for that to grow some figs like next year. I moved one of my St. John's wort from being next to the other one in the bag to up here. I think it looks beautiful. It's not as big as the other one. You'll see how big the other one is in a little bit. Here is more of that tutti frutti yarrow. As you can see, it's about to put out more flowers here, which is exciting. Here is a white rose. This one is, I leave the tags on them so I can know what they are. Frau Karl Druski. It's a tea rose. It's my dog drinking water in the background. Not that long ago, it was huge, beautiful, full of white roses, and we had a storm come through, so I had to deadhead it along with the other rose. And now it's just got a few blooms. That's the best looking one right now. I'll put in a picture of what it looked like when it was completely bloomed out. But since deadheading it, it is really growing back as well. And it has some more buds on it, so it's gonna flower again. More burgundy glow ajuga. It's everywhere out here because I am obsessed. Back here is the snowball viburnum that I got in one of those like bare root bags for like $5 or so. I have a video of me planting it, or of me talking about it. I don't think I planted it up in that video, but here it is in a pot on this corner here. This was where my son's little garden bed was, garden box, raised bed was, and that's out of this spot, but I left the soil there because it was good soil. So I put a bee balm back there, which gets pretty big, or a monarda, which gets pretty big. His little radishes are still back there because they're flowering and pollinators really like them. I'm not going to keep those for seed. I have other radishes I'm going to keep for seed. Here's a yellow yarrow. I'm not sure what this one is called, but it's pretty. I love yarrow. Here's another one of those Russian sages. This one hasn't bloomed out yet. I've cut it back a couple of times because when it has bloomed, they flopped over, and it has grown a lot since I cut it back. Back there, that little grass is muley grass. I got that from Arbor Day. A park was giving away free plants, and that was one of them, so I just stuck it in the back there. It's gonna get really big and have pretty pink grass. Here is my Little Richard Abelia. It's gotten huge since I put it in last year, like last fall. I love like the red stems on it and how the new growth comes out tipped in red. And then this has white flowers as well, because as you know, I'm obsessed with white flowers. I have a couple of blueberry bushes. Here's one of them with yarrow. This is native yarrow, the medicinal kind, growing up through it. I love yarrow. As you can tell, it's all over the place. I think it looks really pretty growing up through the blueberries too. You got a little owl here to hopefully deter birds away from eating the blueberries when they're ready. In the front here and here is catnip. I just cut it back and it's flushed out pretty big again. That one has. This one is kind of like tangled in the blueberry and flopping over. So I might move this catnip, take it out, move it somewhere else, or give it away to a friend or something if they want it. Because I have a lot of catnip that I've dried already and I haven't even used it. And these are just 2 tiny plants that I added last year. In the back here is another blueberry plant. See, blueberries getting ripe. And then a patch of mint. I know they say don't put mint in your garden, but I love mint. And I kind of want it to spread everywhere as a ground cover. Oh, I missed this. This is a little echinacea that I got and separated out of a pot from a local garden center for like $5. It's starting to bud up, but it's not as nearly established as the one in the front. This is the regular native echinacea. I have garden sage here, a good old patch of it. Last year, I took little stems and stuck them in the ground, and they're kind of getting shaded out by this St. John's wort here, but I'll cut back the St. John's wort a little bit so that it can get more sun. It comes all the way to the front, the little pieces that I put in. Here is the other St. John's wort that I moved. I separated the other bush from this one. This one is so much bigger. I love how the flowers are yellow, but then it has red berries. Like, how dope is that? It is so pretty with the dark green leaves on it. Like, yes, thank you. There's some echinacea back there that I grew from seed. The St. John's wort was a lot smaller when I put it there, so I didn't expect it to get shaded out as much back then. I didn't expect this to just shoot up and get huge, but I'm gonna cut it back when it's done flowering. Here's another blueberry bush. Here's more native echinacea that I got from a local garden center. Putting out little babies down there. I separated some of my yarrow and put it over here. I don't think I showed you the other yarrow I separated near that other blueberry bush. There's just a lot going on right now. A lot of plants to look at, and it's hot. Back here is an improved Mayor lemon, and I live in zone 8A, so I know some people have success with growing these, but it needs to get big and established. So I might show you later what I plan to do with that when it gets cold and the frost starts coming around. I plan on putting one of those little greenhouses around it so that it can be insulated and kept warm during the winter, warm enough so that it won't die. There's more of that yellow yarrow. Back there, that little plant there is a little borage plant. That's a blue star juniper, just looking beautiful, so pretty. I love this plant so much. And then at the front of the border here is more borage that has exploded with little flowers. Let's see if I can pick one up for you. There it is. They're blue, some of them are like purplish pink, and it's gotten huge. So I'm excited to try that out for medicinal reasons. Here's another little Richard Abelia, which I feel like is a lot smaller than that other one over there, so I guess the other one gets more sun. Let's turn around here. Here is a kiddie pool that had watermelons in it last year. Didn't do that well, so I filled it with calendula instead. The ones that are already flowering overwintered from last year because I had bulbs in here, which I guess protected them from the frost and the freezes. The little ones that we did have, it doesn't get that cold here. I need to come out here and deadhead them because they're starting to get seedy. You see, But yeah, that's all calendula. Let me go here. I bought this little hibiscus from local garden center, and I thought it was dead and it wasn't going to do anything. I had it in the ground, took it out of the ground because I wanted to put that rose there, which actually grows and does something. And it's actually growing. I was so excited when this popped up. So I can't wait to see that and how that develops. So now we're on this side of the yard. I'll just do a little pan to show you what we're looking at now. We just went through the front of, well, the side of the house to the back through that bed. Whew, it's gonna take a while to get through everything else. Let's start in this bed. So the raised beds are for food. So this is a 2x8 or 2x10, don't exactly remember, bed where I started little peppers by seed. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. It goes all the way down around different peppers. There's banana peppers, serrano peppers, jalapeno peppers, and bell peppers. Here's a little basil plant that I did not start from seed. I went to the garden center and got some plants because our weather was acting crazy, and I'm surprised the peppers survived. I have some nasturtium I started from seed. All these tomatoes, there's 3 of them here. 1, 2, 3 are beefsteak tomatoes. And they're gonna go up this trellis arch, this arch trellis here. And I got those from a local garden center. There is another basil plant there. And this nasturtium has been getting eaten up, y'all. And there's that other pepper plant right there. So not much going on in that bed. I did, however, plant some rosemary plants in front of the beds. One there, it's a bird bath that needs to be cleaned. I might do that later on today when it cools down a little bit. And there's another rosemary in front of this bed. So this is the exact same size width and length as that one over there. And this one has some like medicinal herbs I started from seed, as well as some tomatoes. So back there, I believe that's comfrey. This is little blanking chamomile. I think it's Roman chamomile. And more comfrey. Sorry, I got an itchy leg if you can hear that. Then I have little borage plants, more nasturtium that is stressed as hell that it put out some flowers, pretty flowers, but I don't think it likes it there. I believe this is an echinacea. Tomato, tomato, tomato. This one is stressed as hell because it actually came from my compost pile. It popped up randomly. So I took it out and stuck it in the ground, but it's not happy. Maybe it'll snap back. If it doesn't, it's okay, because it was free from the compost. I have some little yarrow starts here. More echinacea. More borage. For some reason, this one's a lot bigger than those, the rest of them. I guess more sun, more chamomile, which is bigger than the other one. And more comfrey, I think. It might be a weed now that that's gotten bigger. Might be a weed, I don't know. On the back gate here are my potato plants. That's the biggest one. I think it might be because it's sitting next to the AC unit and it's getting like cooled down or something. If I'm breathing hard, it's because it's hot out here and I'm 22 weeks pregnant. So I'm extra hot and I'm sweating. I'm trying to get this video done. These are all different types of potatoes. There's red potatoes, Yellow potatoes, big potatoes, small potatoes. This one I think is basically done. Like, look at that, that just came out. So I can dig these up soon. The rest of them, like you can see, the leaves are dying back, which means that I can probably dig them up soon. Started those in February. Disc golf basket. Along the back here, I have this beautiful butterfly bush. Now, butterfly bush are known to be invasive, and supposedly they're like candy for butterflies. I like candy. Butterflies probably like it too. So I do have a butterfly bush. It is so freaking pretty and it smells so good. It's a psychedelic sky butterfly bush. I have 2 of them. This one I put in last year. The other one I put in this year. And so it is raggedy as heck. So I probably won't show you that one. But it just started blooming like last week. And I'm obsessed. Like, I can smell it in the wind. I love good smelling plants. These are heuchera, and they were on that side of the garden. I moved them because they were in front of my hellebores, but they were like crowding them out and taking over. You couldn't even see the hellebores. So I moved them back here because this is a well shaded area. The most sun is in this corner right here. That's why that's so big. But this is very shaded throughout the day. It gets some sun, but not for long. And so I moved those over here because they really like shade. And I think they're so pretty. The variegation is really pretty. It's like bluish green with burgundy. And then puts off little flower spikes, which don't really have a flower. But the little pollinators and stuff like them. So they're here. And this little bed on this side has a yellow rose that I got bare root from Aldi's. I have 2 bare root Aldi roses. They were like $7, so if they die, I'm not really worried about it. It bloomed last week before it rained a bunch, so I'll put in a picture of it. This is a yellow rose surrounded by burgundy glow ajuga. I just want ajuga everywhere because the flowers are beautiful. And it serves as a good ground cover. Hopefully I won't have to pull so many weeds. This is another free plant that I got from that Arbor Day. I got 2 of them actually. There's 2 in this pot until they get big enough and established enough. Then I'll move them into the ground. I'm actually gonna put one in this corner here. These are, what are they called? They're some type of berry. Beauty berries. They're the native beauty berry, and the leaves are supposed to be a stronger bug repellent than DEET. So they've grown so much. They were like 2 little twigs like a month ago when I got them. So they've gotten big, and I can't wait to be able to use the leaves when they're big enough to make homemade bug spray mixed with a couple of other herbs I have. Back there is all weeds. We just bought this gazebo canopy thing that has bug netting on it so we can sit out here without getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, which I don't think they're out right now because it's just too dang hot. But I'm excited. I have a little azalea sitting in there right now because it kept getting knocked over sitting outside. But I think I'm gonna plant an azalea either here or on that side. And I'm gonna bring my pitcher plant out here to live in here to eat any flies that keep getting in there somehow. It will have a full belly, but I love it. We just got it this weekend. So far, so good. It's got some chairs in there until we get a patio set to put in there and whatnot. So I had a compost bin over against that fence. Since then, we actually did this last weekend as well. Well, last weekend, not this weekend that just passed. The weekend before last, I guess. And we made a second compost bin. That's the newer one. And we moved the old one back here, which was a struggle. Oh my God. But we did it. And so I'm really proud of this because there's a tarp on top to keep the bugs from annoying us, but underneath there's a piece in the front, and as you can see down at the bottom, point with my foot, and on the sides we wrapped a tarp around it and then burned some holes in it for drainage, but hopefully it'll keep the bottom from rotting out. This bottom rotted out because we didn't do that. When we moved it, we put a tarp around the sides so that the compost wouldn't fall out the sides. But the bottom rotted out just because it was just fresh compost in there and it was really wet. So hopefully this one, the bottom won't rot out. But look at that good old compost that we made ourselves from whatever left produce. You can see there's eggshells in there, and from grass clippings and leaves on the property. And we filled up this whole box in just a couple of months. And so it got flipped over, so the good stuff is on top that I'm going to use and put in the garden to grow food and whatnot. So this angle of the garden, so you can see what everything looks like. All right, so this box, I'm gonna work around the outside, then I'll come back and show you those 3 boxes. There's this bed here, which, as you can see, these are my hellebores. The blooms are pretty much dead and faded by now, but I'll put in a picture of what they look like. Hellebores here. This is a Pieris japonica. It is really pretty. In late winter, early spring, it blooms. Oh my God, I have to kill this mosquito. I literally just threw my phone to kill that mosquito, but I think I got it. It was trying to eat me. Get this good blood. Oh, I also have this here, which it had alliums in it. Cut the alliums, just left them out there to dry. And it also has little lemon balm that I started from seed in that pot. All right, back to the Pieris. New growth comes out bright red. Against that green, and then the blooms are white. All the hellebores are pink. Some of them look better than others. Cough, cough. That one looks like poo. There's more burgundy glow ajuga all throughout this bed. Here are pilgrim. I think they're pilgrim hostas. Here is another camellia along with that camellia. They're the same. And those are Miss Lyman Clark. She was a camellia grower that lived in this area, the Hampton Roads area. And they are stunning. I'll put a picture of those when they were blooming too. Here is that other elderberry I was telling you about that cross-pollinates with the one on the other side of the garden. It's another black kind. I just got it this weekend, so I can't remember the name, but I'll try to put the name on the screen. As you can see, there's some faded flowers, but that's what they pretty much look like. Except they're like really pink and white. More like that, or red and white with some pink in it. But they're really different and pretty, and they'll produce berries for me probably in a couple of years once they get established. My lovely husband picked out these plants. Oh, there's a fresh bloom. These are GM plants. I think this is the Mrs. Bradshaw GM. Lowe's had a 2 for $10 sale on Memorial weekend. I think that's a fresh flower too. They're really, really pretty. They're perennials and evergreen perennials for this area. Most of the perennials that I have in this are evergreen for this area. Sorry if I keep moving a lot. Mosquitoes are over in this corner. They're hanging out in the shade, trying to eat me. I didn't put any bug spray on, but it's really pretty. And then over here, there's such a big gap here because this is where I had the compost bin at. So this soil over here is chef's kiss, perfect. So I just threw it in that soil. Ooh, a toad. Hi, little guy. Are you the same one that was here the other day? You eating the mosquitoes? I think that's the same toad that was living over here, I guess with the compost bin. Can you see him? And he's just chilling. This is his home. Enjoy. More of those halcyon hostas. I really like the blue-green foliage. But that's where the compost bin was, that huge square there. So I just took more brick and made it into a bigger bed. Here's another rose that I got from Aldi's as a bare root. It hasn't bloomed. I don't think it's going to bloom this year. It's just going to get established and settled in. This is Queen Elizabeth Rose. So I'm excited to see how pretty that gets. But now I have all this room in this bed. Well, not all of it, because elderberries get really big, so that's going to take up a lot of that room. But I have this space and this space to put something pretty. So yeah, that's this part of the garden. Let's go through these raised beds. I always call them garden boxes. These raised beds, and then that will be it for me. This is my oldest raised bed besides the herb box over there. There's a lot going on. All of these tall things here are parsley. I'm letting it go to seed because I really want swallowtail butterflies to lay their eggs here and have babies. There's also a lot of radish going to seed. There's what the white flowers are. I'm collecting those seeds because I love radishes. We love eating radishes any chance we can get. Whoa. Here, there, and here are all cucumber plants that are going to climb this trellis. I try to keep the radish off of them, but they keep falling on them. But the radish will be gone soon once these seed heads develop on them. This is a big old kale plant that is leaning. It's because of the storm we got. We got a lot of rain. So everything's kind of leaning to the side, but I'm letting it bolt to get seeds as well. I'm collecting all my seeds. As y'all know, food shortages, seed shortages everywhere. So the best thing you can do, So the best thing you can do is let everything go to seed. Collect your own seed and you'll be good. All the tomatoes on these stakes here are Roma determinate tomatoes. So that's why they have stakes. I'm gonna have to spray with bug spray because these mosquitoes are not letting up. I already got bit. And here's more parsley and some lettuce and whatnot. It's not really important. I'm gonna put strawberries. Once these grow runners, I'm gonna put them really close so that I can run them over here and let more strawberries grow. In this second bed here, my second oldest bed, I have California poppies. As you can see down there, really pretty yellow. I also have a ton of garlic. All of this is garlic, and the whole other side is garlic as well. In the middle, there is nothing. I think I planted a squash plant there and it didn't come up because the soil is pit. So I'm going to retire this bed because the soil isn't that good. That bed over there, the soil's great. I don't know what I did over there. That was different. This bed here, I'm gonna fill it with that compost from that compost bin that you saw over there. and just let it rest for a little while. But before then, I threw a bunch of compost on that side, and I put in more beefsteak tomatoes. And there's a pea that was growing up there, but it's too hot. I don't think it's going to produce anything, so I'm going to rip that out like today. In this long bed here, there are more pepper plants. Now these I bought from the store, so that the ones by seed will be the later crop, because I have a very long growing season. It's like 250 days or something like that. Over 200 days, I know that, growing season here. So I'm growing peppers from a local garden center here. And then I have the seeded peppers on the other side, which are going to develop later. So half of these from like here over are banana peppers, and there over are jalapenos. And then all these stakes here, there, and there have aroma tomato attached. There are a couple of lettuces in this bed that I've just let go and grow, and I'll probably harvest them later for a salad. And then right here is a basil plant and more calendula. That one is so pretty. I like the variegation. Like, I don't know how it came out like that, but that's beautiful. So this whole little row here is calendula. I have so much calendula because I'm going to use it, dry it out, and use it for medicine, as I do with like all of my perennials. A lot of them are medicinal and will be used as such. So that is the tour of my garden. I hope you liked it and enjoyed it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. I know that took a very long time. Oh, last thing I forgot to mention. In that white pot right there is a bay leaf bush that I'm going to use for food in cooking. But everything here I like to be multi-use. Some things are just to be pretty, but most of it can be used for medicine or cooking with, and that's just how I roll. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you'll subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you did, and maybe I'll do another tour like this later in the season when things are even bigger and I really want to do some harvest videos and whatnot, if you'll enjoy that. So y'all have a good one.